What's going on, guys? Today is Sunday. We had a little bit of excitement here this morning, and I was here putting together an adult trike, and things kind of got a little weird. I was working, and I heard a little weird noise. I was hearing wah wah wah, and things didn't feel quite right. And I look up, and all my inventory on the walls were just rocking left and right, and I'll be darned if there wasn't an earthquake going on. I have never been through an earthquake like this, and this is in Four Oaks, North Carolina. I've never had that before, and we had a 5.1, on the Richter scale earthquake just not far from here, and no damage, but it was a little bit of excitement in the morning. But you're not here to hear about that. You're here to hear about working on these power wheels. Pow pow power wheels, to remember that commercial. So what we've got here is, this was brought in by a customer, and he has tried to figure out what's going on. He's taken it apart, so he's kind of brought it to me in pieces. It's not too bad, but what we've got here is he has removed the pedal. He said that he's replaced the switch. He's replaced some of the other stuff in here, and it's still not working. So pushing the button, nothing's working. Now, what I try to do when I'm working on these is first make sure the battery is plugged in. And the battery is plugged in. The next step I like to do is I'll push the pedal and I'll start jiggling the shifter here to see if I can get any jumping. If I'm doing this and it starts to jump a little bit and then does nothing, then right there, that's telling me that it's a problem with the shifter and the switches need to be replaced, or there's a short in there. Most of the time it's just the switches. The next thing I do, because the next thing is starting to take it all apart. Well, don't do that. What you want to do is you want to check the battery. First step, let's take the battery out. We're going to unplug it, and then we're going to pull it out, and be careful not to drop it. Now, what you can do is if you have one of these voltage testers, you can check it out with this. However, this is not a good test. But let's see what it says. We're going to set this. We're going to set this for 20 volts DC. And we're going to put the black wire onto the negative. So there's a negative and a positive. We're going to hook it up to the negative. This one has alligator clips on it where I can just put it on there. Yours might not have that. And this says that it's 11.82, which is a little low, but it's a 12 volt system, and that's not too bad. So you would figure that it should work. Well, I went through this a lot, and I ended up having to make myself my own tool. I went by the flea market and I got one of these. This one actually cost me $5 at the flea market. It is a amp tester. This actually tests to see if the battery is good or bad for a 12-volt motorcycle, not a car. This one is a little bit better for these smaller batteries. Now, I actually made my own. What I did was I got one of these and I unhooked the leads on here. I got a plug-in from one of an old Power Wheels, and I hooked the black wire to the negative, the white wire to the white wire to the positive. And we're going to plug this into the battery. Alright, we've got this plugged into the battery, and it's showing that it's 11 volts. Well, we're going to put this under load, and it shouldn't drop below the yellow there. I'm going to flip the switch, and it just drops all the way down to the bottom. This is a bad battery. Let's get a new battery and see what happens. We have a new battery. We're going to plug this into my load tester. We're going to push the button. If you'll notice, it just drops down to the yellow. And as I'm pushing it, I can actually feel these coils getting hot. This is just like a heater, okay? This battery is good. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Slide it in, plug it in, all right, let's try pushing the button. All right, reverse. That's all it was the battery. This guy has been replacing parts on this, and the whole time it was his battery. Not everybody can have one of these load testers. You can make one yourself, but you've got to have an old Power Wheels that you can cut the wiring harness out of it. And you know, so this little tool that I made cost me less than $20. The red one I've got here, it would cost me, you know, $5, but the other one I got, I think I paid maybe 10. All right, that's all that was wrong with this. Let's get started on the next one. All right, we have Power Wheels number 2. First things first, let's check for a battery. No battery. We're going to put a good battery in here, plug it in, and we're going to test it. Okay, with it pushed in. Okay, this feels super crunchy, and I cannot shift the knob here. So I'm going to say that the switch, there's 2 switches in this shifter, and those switches are probably no good. Now I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver. I am using a drill on this, but I've got the clutch set at 4, so I'm not going to strip anything out. If it starts to get too tight, it slips. So let's remove. The first step you need to do to get to the shifter, and this one is a dune racer. First thing you need to do is to remove the seat. locate the screw on the underside of the toy here. And here. We will need to remove these. There's one. There's two. Now I'm going to be checking the shifter here, and I have these switches to replace for the shifter. Now these switches are not available for purchase. However, you can buy a new shifter. I'm just simply going to unplug this, and it is thoroughly stuck. So I'm going to have to use a screwdriver to pry it off, and you want to make sure that you unplug the battery before you do anything like that. I'm going to be very careful. There is one, and here is two. The battery is unplugged. I do not have to worry about causing any fires. Now that is badly corroded, and it is not functioning. Let's put one switch in. Let's put another switch in. Let's plug the battery in place. Let's try the pedal now. And it is still not working. Now this pedal feels horrible. Let's try replacing the switch in the pedal, because this feels so bad that I'm pretty sure that it's no good. Now in the middle of this toy here, you'll find near the front, you will find a tab here, right here, another one there, and another one up in there. You can't see them very well, but you want to get a butter knife, something that is not sharp, and you want to kind of push and open up the tab a little bit while gently tugging on the door. And there's one. Let's see, I'm going to slide the knife in to the tab there while gently pulling on it. It does not require much effort. We're just going to give it a little twist here and just keep working it until it pops open. And then we're going to slide the knife into here, and that's already popping through. And we're going to slide it into there, and then the door is open. Now, I have a replacement switch for this Power Wheels, and unfortunately I don't think this is available for aftermarket. It's only the service centers that can have them, and they do this because there have been some issues with people putting things together improperly and causing fires. But let's plug this in. This thing's been flooded. It wouldn't surprise me if I have to replace the motors as well. Let's make sure this is unplugged. And we have to pry this off again. This is horrible. Wow. So much corrosion. Now, I have the switch for the pedal. we're going to plug it in here. And now that we've got the new switches here and the pedal, let's make sure the battery's plugged in, and it is, and let's give it a little push. And there we go. What we've got here is, it does look like this vehicle was flooded and the switches were all bad in it. Now I am a little concerned about the electric motors, but let's get this put back together and give it a spin. Now we need to put the screws on the underside. And we are done. Remember on this, the first thing to check is the batteries. Then you apply the battery. Then you apply the gas while shifting on this. And the next thing I did was I checked the shifter. Since it was locked up, those switches were bad, but also the pedal switch was bad. The next step would have been pulling the back apart and putting a voltage tester to the motors with the pedal pushed to see if there was any power going to the motors. Now the best thing is to take it to your local authorized Power Wheels service center, and we are one of them, because a lot of these parts that I put on here unfortunately are not available for sale afterwards. We could sell you the whole shifter, however on this particular one I don't think the pedal switch is for sale. I have to double check, because due to liability reasons, Power Wheels sell some things but not others. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was informative, please leave me a big thumbs up. Please check out some of my other videos in the upper corner of this video, and please subscribe as well. Well, thank you very much. We will see you in the next video. Bye.